as he lionizes a strongman, how Trump is flexing power over the law, higher education, and the media. A dangerous new presidency. Only 3 months into his new term, President Donald Trump is demonstrating an aggressive consolidation of power, challenging the foundational structures of American democracy. No longer confined to rhetoric, Trump has begun executing policies and strategies that test the limits of constitutional authority. With increasing boldness, he has moved to control legal institutions, reshape elite academia, and undermine the free press, all while celebrating authoritarian figures abroad. His actions have drawn stark comparisons to historical and current strongmen, most notably El Salvador's Nayib Bukele, who proudly describes himself as the world's coolest dictator. Rule of law under siege. Trump's authoritarian leanings are most visible in his blatant disregard for the judiciary. The case of Kilma Armando Abrego Garcia illustrates the crisis. Despite a Supreme Court ruling instructing the administration to facilitate his return to the United States after a wrongful deportation, Trump's administration has refused to comply. Legal experts warn that this defiance could signal a constitutional crisis between the executive and judicial branches. Retired Judge Shira Shandlin described the situation as defiance, warning it placed the country on the edge of a constitutional crisis. Constitutional scholar Laurence Tribe noted the risk this poses to all Americans, not just immigrants. The White House continues to justify its stance with claims about national security, but has yet to present credible evidence. A template for authoritarianism. In the same Oval Office meeting, Trump warmly embraced President Bukele, whose regime has suspended constitutional protections and incarcerated thousands without due process. The symbolism was striking. Two leaders uniting around a shared vision of governance that subverts legal norms in the name of public order. Trump openly expressed admiration for Bukele's tactics and mused about expanding deportations to include even American citizens accused of violent crimes. While Attorney General Pam Bondi sat beside him, Trump said, "I don't know what the laws are, but we also have homegrown criminals. I'd like to include them in the group." This raises chilling concerns that constitutional protections might be ignored for political expediency. Universities in the crosshairs. Elite education has become one of Trump's newest battlegrounds. Top institutions like Harvard and Columbia have faced demands to change internal policies or risk losing billions in federal funding. Trump's administration has attacked diversity and inclusion programs, attempted to dictate curriculum content, and punished schools that permit pro-Palestinian protests. Harvard stood firm, declaring it would not surrender its independence or its constitutional rights. But Columbia University, under pressure, submitted to new protest restrictions and revised its Middle East curriculum. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has even revoked student visas on the grounds that protest activities threaten news. Foreign policy. The crackdown, many argue, is a calculated attack on the autonomy of education. Law firms and free expression under pressure. Trump's campaign to control the legal landscape extends to high-profile law firms. Legal giants like Jenner Block and WilmerHale have been targeted for representing individuals opposed to Trump's agenda. Facing executive orders and punitive action, the firms have taken the administration to court. Meanwhile, the administration is forcing firms into pro bono agreements worth hundreds of millions of dollars, effectively leveraging government power to coerce private legal action. The pattern is clear: punish opposition, reward loyalty. These tactics mirror strategies used by autocrats worldwide, where the rule of law becomes an instrument of personal power. Assault on the media and free speech. The Trump administration has escalated its war on the media, going beyond verbal attacks to legal and regulatory retaliation. The White House called for the revocation of CBC's broadcast license after criticism on 60 Minutes and banned Associated Press journalists from traveling with the president. The app has since taken legal action, with one judge ruling the administration's move unconstitutional. These actions go beyond partisan politics. They signify a systemic effort to silence dissent, with executive orders punishing press organizations that do not conform to the administration's narrative. Freedom of expression is under siege. Toward a constitutional crisis, the threads tying these events together, judicial defiance, educational censorship, legal manipulation, and media suppression, point toward a presidency actively challenging constitutional constraints while some institutions have resisted, others have capitulated. Trump's rhetoric and actions have emboldened a political base and signaled a shift toward authoritarian governance. His embrace of strongman tactics, unchecked executive power, and disdain for democratic norms reflect a transformation of the presidency itself. The looming question is whether American democracy can withstand the strain. The battles being fought today in courts, classrooms, and newsrooms will determine the answer.